because you didn't see me didn't mean that I was not working. I've been working this politics for a mighty long time. I feel like, and I want to applaud each and every one of y'all. Y'all did a good job, did a great job disseminating information, but you got to realize that some people are getting their news different way. So it takes every joint is going to supply and make this happen. Okay. And so be proud. I'm very proud of the work that we did. We didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but guess what? You guys worked extremely hard to make it happen.
All right. Well,
I just want to say,
go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Cheryl.
real quick. I just wanted to point out, and I know we've talked about this before. I personally would like for anyone who has an interest in politics to get out there and run, learn how to run, and reach out to the local the different caucuses and the Democratic parties in the various counties, but also understand the other side and other campaigns start campaigning the day after election. So if you're trying to run and you are trying to run under 6 months before the election, you're already at a disadvantage because the other side is already one step ahead or several steps ahead. So please, everyone, that wants to run, go ahead and run. But the sooner the better.
All right. So with that being said, let me just give you a little track record, okay? So we've run campaigns in all 67 counties in the state of Florida. We turned some red people into purple people, and we won some initiatives that will affect local communities. We won No on 3. We won Yes on 4. We run these campaigns. I work with Pico, Florida, and I work with Faith in Action. So about talking about organizing and running a campaign, it has been done. Some of the most successful people in this town, I've worked their campaigns, okay? Started in 1984, okay? In 1984, Operation Push came to Mobile, Alabama. We were on the stage with Jesse Jackson. And from that, we learned how to organize and how to run a campaign. Now, it might be that it seemed like I had stepped back, but there was a new leadership. Derek was a new leadership. He was a new wave. And what happens so many times is that some people who think they know everything stand away. The new leadership, I have no complaints about what Derek has done, about what anybody's done to make the DEC better. Okay, so I'm on board. And I applaud that, okay? So I don't want you to leave here thinking that I feel like, oh, they shoulda, coulda, woulda. We can all say that. No, I feel like keep doing the work you're doing, but let's energize our party again.
For those that are wanting to support, the next steps are for you to qualify. And right now, I assume you're doing that through petition process.
Yes.
How can people get a petition? How are they able to help?
I can send you out the petition. You can fill it out. And we can print it, and we'll have a petition count. We will be having a meeting on tomorrow night. We actually started our petition drive because the Fed said you can start it. You just have to make sure that you date it correctly, so that we're on track to get 1,300 petitions to make it happen. And we're on track also with raising money in order. But if you want to go to cdavisforcongress.com. The website should be up and running this week, or you can contact me at 850-554-2286. And we'll even, if you don't have a way to print it, we'll bring you a form, we'll get it filled out with you, and we'll take it back in. But trust me, even if I don't qualify to run this election, we're going to energize our base like never before, so that we can make a mark that cannot be erased in this district, okay?
Pastor, just one last actual question. If by chance you don't get the numbers to qualify,
right,
would you consider maybe another position or the same position the next time around? So you have that time over, to build that momentum and implement some of the, programs you talked about.
Thank you for that. And so I'm going to say this to you, Cheryl. You made a very valid point. We need to vet our people. I am willing to start something that we start to vet our people, send them to the DEC, as well and to move it. So yes, I am open to that, but I'm also open to helping anybody that wants to run to put these strategies together, put this knowledge together to help. We really have to, I believe it in my whole heart that we can change some of those MPAs and we can actually change some of those Republicans to come back to the Democratic Party and we can win this thing again, okay?
And Pastor, just so you know, locally, there are a couple organizations that are doing just that on groundwork and just street teams of getting people elected.
Okay.
So you might want to, we talk about working together, maybe working together with those groups to make it even better.
Sure, we're more than happy to. And the deal is, it used to be a time when I was working with Willie Jr., we had a machine. And when people came to us, we turned that machine off. We put all the resources together. We put the ground game together. We put the get out the vote thing together. And we were able to keep this district in a good purple. And I believe sincerely, I believe that some people are ready for us to go back purple, where we have more representation from elected Democrats in our area.
Well, Pastor, we thank you so much for coming on this evening. We thank you. If you want to give us your telephone number one more time and the website so that people know.
Yeah, 850-554-2286. And the website is cdavisforcongress.com. And, thank you guys. My cousin is the mayor of Bonifay. My other cousin is the supervisor of election in Gaston County. And Tanya Anderson is in the Senate in Georgia. And all these things, I just believe that we just got to put this synergy and this energy together. We can get people elected in red areas. So listen, I hope tonight that I encourage you guys. And if I misspoke, no, the work that you've done is astronomical. The fact that it is tough to be blue in this area. You run into they call us everything, okay? I think they want to make a movie about us and call us Wicked D. But the fact is, we have to keep working, and I believe that we can make a mark that cannot be erased, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, I got a check for you, Mrs. Cheryl.
Pardon?
I got a check for you. You need to see me this week.
Okay.
Yeah, for your MLK. Let's all support
I know.
MLK.
It's not for me.
Yeah, let's all support the MLK. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
President.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Bye-bye. All right, everyone. That was Pastor C. Marcel Davis, candidate for Congressional District 1. We thank him for joining us this evening. Now we are going to get into our roundtable, and I think we may have another guest joining us here momentarily. So while we are waiting on that guest, we will start with Cheryl. What do you have for us today?
Hey, good evening, everyone. I just want to remind everyone that the 2025 MLK Day Parade is coming up very fast. And registrations will be closing on December 31st. So it is important that you get your registrations in as soon as possible. You can register online at mlkparadepensacola.com. That's mlkparadepensacola.com. Or you can call 850-378-9242. So we look forward to seeing you all on January 20th. And also, we just named our parade grand marshal for 2025. And that person is Linda Sunshine Moorer of Sunshine's Corner. So congratulations to Sunshine for being our parade grand marshal for the 2025 MLK Day Parade in Pensacola.
Thank you, Cheryl, for that. Appreciate that. Christina, what do you have for us?
I don't actually have a whole lot for today. I just want to say thank you. It's awesome to be here. Just finished up with the RAM clinic over in Pensacola. That was an amazing event. Huge shout out to Grace McCafferty. There were hundreds, almost 1,000 patients that were seen for either vision, dental, or medical. And just to be able to be a part of that is just awesome. So yeah, just grateful to be here. As soon as I know more about MLK coming up here in Santa Rosa, I will be sure to pass that on. So thank you.
Thank you. Jill, do you have anything?
It's so great to be here tonight. That's what I want to say. That's the first thing I want to say. I also don't have all of the Okaloosa County MLK. You know, we do things so very special here because we will have something in Crestview, something in Fort Walton, and probably in other areas. So we'll share that. I do want to tell everybody that the Okaloosa County DEC will have their meeting December 3rd at 6:30. And that will be our reorganization meeting. So we will be electing a new chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary, and a committee woman and a committee man. And we encourage all of you to join us. As you know, the DEC is we're going to call it, Derek probably has a better way to explain this now that he's been the DEC chair for a while, but for the rest of us, or at least for me, it's kind of the big picture, like they're the big blanket, but everybody doesn't report to them, but that's all of the Democrats. So it's all the Democrats. So it's kind of hard, I will say this, not to reach out to the leadership because they have the avenue to everybody. And then, of course, we have our clubs, caucuses, and organizations. So in Okaloosa County, each of our counties have elections across the state of Florida in the month of December. Ours is quite early, December 3rd, 6:30 at our traditional location in wonderful downtown Niceville at the City Council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McIntosh, do you have anything?
I just want to, for Move for Change, as our town hall meetings and our regular meetings when starting in February, only because I got to have eye surgery again on one of my other eyes, or my other eye, rather.
It's like you got a spare eye somewhere? Okay.
My other eye. So I had surgery on one, so it's hard for me to drive at night, you know, because of what happened. And then now I got to have it in January on the other eye. So, but I want everybody to know we're gonna start having our town hall meetings live in February, so that we can come back together live and everybody that want to come can be there, because a lot of times some of the elderly people don't remember or know how to get on Zoom, and so they are missing meetings as a result of that. And we want to change that so that everybody can participate, so we can bring the organization back together. Then we'll start campaigning for more members for the organization, so that we will have more people that can participate. Hopefully we get more younger, much younger than me, to participate and to even take over the organization. That's what I would like. I don't know about everybody else, but that's what I would like, to have younger people take some of those positions that may have better ideas, that have computer skills that we may not have, so that our organization will live into the future for the next 20 some odd more years. So that's my spiel about it. But we will be having our meetings in February next year.
Okay, thank you.
Live.
Before I turn it back over to Jill to introduce our next guest, I just want to let everybody know, in case you missed it at the top of the show, Congressional District 1 will be having a special election That special election is going to be January the 28th for the primary, and then the general election will take place April 1. Most of you all, we had a lot of people who voted by mail this election cycle. So if you are in the sound of my voice, if you're in Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, Walton, wherever we reach in the state of Florida, please know that your vote by mail expires December 31st, 2024. It is now open. You can re-enroll for vote by mail starting now. It is, if you reach out to your supervisor of elections or go on your respective supervisor of elections website or give them a call and tell them that you would like to enroll and vote by mail for all elections through 2026, they will get that taken care of. We want to make sure that you're registered and enrolled in vote by mail in time for the Democratic primary as well as the general election. And so you're set for now until the end of 2026. So please make sure you get out to do that. Lastly, the Democratic Party in Escambia is going to have a volunteer appreciation, a campaign wrap up. Free for everybody if you'd like to attend. It is going to be on December the 20th at the Improv at 6 p.m. We encourage everybody to come. It's a way to say thank you to our volunteers, thank you to the candidates and everybody who participated in this democratic process. So we want to let you know of that. And similarly, our reorganization meeting for Escambia, as Jill said, we are going to be electing a new chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, 5 state committee people, and a steering team. We will have that meeting on Saturday, December 14th at the Downtown Library, 239 North Spring Street at 12 noon. Why don't you join us? So turning it back over to you, Joe.
I have a question about the special election.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So real quick, is the primary like any other primary where you can do the mail-in and then you get the early voting and then the regular voting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
They haven't released all those days, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, this evening we have another special guest. Many of you know him. He has been in our area. We call home. We think he calls us home anyway. He ran as a congressional candidate in 2018 and in 2020, and we love him. And he has come all the way up from Miami, where he ran recently in 2024. And he'll fix this if it's wrong, but I believe it was a congressional seat, either 27 or 28 down in Miami. 28 in Miami. He almost made it, and he's back up here with us, sharing his insight. He's got a new PAC. He's got some information for us, and so I'm hoping he's gonna come back on camera. And I introduce and welcome back our Heart Phil Air.
Well, thank you very much. Please excuse me for not figuring out my technology, because I think you can hear me, but I don't think you can see me, and I'm having trouble fixing that. Is that right? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You were on and then you were off. So
yes, I'm sorry if you can't see my face. Well, I'm smiling, and let me just say that I have so much good memories of the MLK Day parade of several years ago. That's my favorite part about campaigning, especially here in Pensacola, where you can run down the street, you can get off of the car, and you can just shake hands with people, and you can celebrate all of the progress that we as a country made with Martin Luther King Jr. His legacy and his message is so powerful that even Republicans and Dixiecrats of the day revere Martin Luther King. And it's just that their interpretation of his words is being skewed by the Republicans to mean something that we believe that Martin Luther King Jr. did not say. He did not say ignore race because outcomes are irrelevant. I was talking to an Escambia County commissioner several years ago, and he said, Phil, when we pass laws and pass ordinances in a democratic system, whatever comes out is just. And my pushback to him was, well, when you see that outcomes are disproportionately affecting or supporting a status quo that is suppressing minorities, you got a problem. And he was unable to see that. But that's the sort of situation we're facing with the Trump administration and with Matt Gaetz and with all the candidates that tolerated Gaetz and his type of thinking, that we've got to push back on that. We've got to be forceful in doing it. So that's what I continue to be about in my political life. As Jill and Derek and I think Jerry know, that I've moved from Pensacola to Miami-Dade County, where I was fortunate enough to pick up residence there. I like South Florida. I love also Northwest Florida. So, I feel at home wherever I am. Why is that? A lot of people think, well, you got to be from there. You got to be born here, raised here, done your whole career in your plot of land to be viable as a candidate. Well, I'm telling you that public service, wherever it is, and in my case, and everybody's case is different. In my case, it was service in the United States Navy that allowed me to have the credibility with everybody, to know that my heart is in the ideals of the American promise. And I'm so grateful to Pensacolians and people from Okaloosa, Jill, and Santa Rosa, Christina, and Walton, etc. And here in Pensacola, in Cantonment, and up in Crestview and Century City, etc. Gulf Breeze, to have welcomed me after a career of active duty service to battle this disease that was in the form of Matt Gaetz. And now that the form of Matt Gaetz is behind us, at least in the congressional House setting, he's going to come back in some other noxious form, but at least in the House congressional setting, we do have this opportunity in a special election to win it, and to win it in a way, because the special election rules are just different. As it was said just earlier, we've got a primary to decide which of our candidates is going to be the standard bearer, and which of the candidates is the best placed to beat whichever Republican is served up. And whatever Republican is served up, it's going to be somebody who tolerated Gaetz. It's going to be somebody who compromised their integrity or did not have the ideals of America at heart. So that's, I think, what we should be focused on, is winning the election in the general, making sure that we have enough vote by mail ballots that are tallying up the bottom line, the mathematics, the quantitative result to get us in office, get our representation in office. And it's my opinion that Marcel Davis is an amazing person, and it's my opinion that Gay Vallimont is an amazing person, and either one of them would be much better than any Republican that is brought up. I liked Michelle Salzman when I met her years ago, president of the PTA, engaged in the society, but she has sadly compromised herself by not only nonsense but hurtful propaganda in many ways. I do not condone her or Alex Andrades or other folks who have just gone over to the politics of division. We, I think, need to be focused on the politics of unity and ethics and morals for everybody, not to divide our communities, but to unite. So I'm solidly on the side of unite. And that's my how do you do, Jerry, for your program here, and I very much appreciate you having me on.
Can you tell us about your new PAC?
Yes. So again, I ran for office in South Florida, the 28th congressional district, the opposite end of the state, South Miami-Dade and the Florida Keys. I won't get into that so much because it's a completely different environment. I did lose. We did very well. We built the sort of coalitions across the Democratic family and NPAs and a fair amount of Republican crossovers that could have made a difference when and could have won had the Trump wave not swept over the nation. And I firmly believe that. Now, what we experienced in that election, as we experienced in 2020 up here in Northwest Florida, was the Florida Democratic Party did not provide the resources nor the infrastructure required for candidates like Gabe Alamont and like me to win. So I formed a PAC with my campaign team down in South Florida called Air Force, EHR Force. And some of you might know, my name is Phil Air, EHR. I flew in the United States Navy, but just as a play on words, maybe a dad joke, but also my call sign, sometimes my call sign in the Navy was Air Force. So the nickname of my campaign was called Air Force. So I formed a PAC called Air Force to provide, not to beat down and destroy or to combat the Florida Democratic Party, but to recognize that the Florida Democratic Party does not provide the support nor the infrastructure required to actually win in deep red districts like Florida's first congressional district. So my campaign team and I are devoted not to run here, but to assist the Democratic nominee in Florida's first district with data-driven micro targeting and messaging support by people who are very rigorously trained academically, PhD level, in voting patterns and voting targeting to get the bottom line of those people who actually vote and those people who will show up. And we can drive people to the polls. We can drive people to vote by mail. And we've demonstrated that in my last campaign, although we didn't have enough to overcome Trump. But nonetheless, we can help. And so because we have the capacity to help, we are helping. So I'm right now, I'm in Pensacola Beach, hanging out right now with Gabe Alamont, who I believe has the better, she's positioned best to take on whatever Republican is served up. And having said that, let the democratic process continue and let whomever, Marcel and others, join the primary if they so wish. But we are here helping to transform the first congressional district from the sliver of Walton County that's still in it, all the way west through Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, and Escambia County, to put forward and to get every Democrat out to vote, to get the Democratic-leaning NPAs to vote, and to do what we can to convert some of the others, the NPAs and some Republicans who are susceptible to, who's still looking at character as a qualification for office. So Air Force PAC is up and running. Air Force PAC is coming into the district to assist to get vote by mail registrations renewed, as Derek was just mentioning, to get people to the polls, to drive people to the polls, to vote in the primary, to vote in the general election, and to win this thing.
So Phil, are you your PAC, is it raising funds to do this, or to support candidates, or just data driven?
It's all of what you just said. We are raising funds so that we can have more capacity to pay poll workers, potentially to do other things that money can buy. However, we are also providing free of charge and free of expense from the PAC the rigorous, or the expertise in the form of in the person of my former campaign manager, who has a PhD in political science and 20 years experience in voting patterns, to be able to help the first congressional district identify those voters who are Democratic voters, be they registered with the Democratic Party or not, to activate them in re-registering for their vote by mail eligibility, and to actually get to the polls. So yes, we're raising money, and we are also, before we're able to raise money, we are actively now looking at the results from the general election just passed and identifying those voters that we can drive to the primary and drive to the general election for a positive result in April.
Okay.
Wonderful. Does anybody have any questions? We're just so glad that you joined us. So you took a sliver of a moment out of your busy schedule to come back on and say hi and share with us. But does any of the hosts have any questions? Want to do a shout out?
No, but thank you, Phil, for coming back and lending your hand to help a Democrat win in this upcoming special election.
Well, thank you. And let me just say that I am very grateful to everybody here on this call who supported me, including Marcel and including Gay and including Jerry and others. I received so much volunteer support from you guys. I'm just, you know, I feel duty bound to try to repay some of it. And whether we're effective or less effective, I know we're going to add value. And I'm grateful for every ounce of your time and your talent working. And I've been here for a few days, and I'm leaving tomorrow morning to get back to be with my family for Thanksgiving in South Florida. We're going to have a great time, and it's rare that I get to be with my family, and I appreciate this coming opportunity. But it's also very heartwarming to be around friends and to be welcomed as I am in my church, Trinity Presbyterian over in Cordova Park, and in Democratic meetings and greetings that to have in the last. And I appreciate each and every one of you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. All right, we will turn it back over to Mr. Derek Scott.
Oh, no, I think I'm not sure.
Well, I didn't know it was you or Jerry, so I just went with one of the others.
I don't know. Like, I guess what I will say is the overwhelming theme of what I'm getting out of this is we have got to be the catalyst to help ourselves. There's going to be folks like Phil and the work that we're all doing. It's not time to give up. It's not time to say, woe is me, look at where we are. We should look at what happened November 5th as fuel to get up and do something else. We have, as Jill said, a once in a lifetime opportunity to affect change, but it's going to have to take all of us. And I'll be the first to admit, something as Marcel said, we've got to listen. I think we did a lot of here's what's important. We need you all to tell us what's important, and let's figure out what the strategy looks like so that we can better address your needs, so that we can be better representatives for Democrats, for Republicans, for NPAs and minor parties, et cetera, and those who don't vote. Want to think the best conversation. But I'm gonna ask, let's have these conversations quick, because we gotta have it, we only got a couple of days. The very first round of voting is January the 29th, 28th. And then we will move forward. That day will determine who represents Democrats, who represents Republicans. There are already a group of minor of non-party affiliated folks who've already filed. As Pastor Davies mentioned, on the Republican side, there's a Nigerian woman who filed to run. She's out of Tampa, but she ran for a congressional seat in the state of Georgia. Oddly enough, I'm just telling you what's out there right now.
You could just say in general, there's a whole bunch of candidates.
There's a whole bunch
Don't
of
be
folks,
giving no extra. Somebody might be like, "Oh wow, I'm voting for her because Derek said she's from Nigeria."
Well, no, she seems to hop from state to state running for office. I see some in Mississippi, some in Georgia, and now she's in Florida. So probably not the best person to reach out to. But in any regards, we got some work to do. So let's just make it happen.
I'd like to make
Jerry, we're gonna hand it back over to you. Jerry, just take it. Just take it, Jerry. That's where it should have went. Just take it.
I'd like to make a personal plea that we have no more Democratic candidates. Please.
Oh, there's already another one in the.
No, I mean, in addition, you know, I know there's a couple now, but like, please no more. Let's work together so we can actually win.
Christina,
so I have a couple things, and one thing is completely off topic. One is that we definitely, I believe Cheryl said it earlier, we definitely need to build a bench. There are, you know, after this election, you know, we've got the midterms coming up in 2 years. There's a lot of open seats where we don't have anybody to run. And Democrat and like to run for something like school board, or you would like to run for, you know, one of the commissioner seats, we definitely want to get in touch with you. So please, please, please reach out to me. And then totally off topic. What's everybody's favorite side dish for Thanksgiving?
Side dish.
We answered
Oh, we're
that.
Thanksgiving. Okay.
For Thanksgiving, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
I'll go stuffing and cranberry sauce.
Wait, what was it?
Stuffing, or you guys call it dressing?
Well, it's the same thing. Just one's inside the turkey, one's outside the turkey.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.